Our Pacific Surfliner Game of the Week on KDOC emanates from Pasadena City College tonight, two of the top prep teams you'd ever want to see on TV. Hello, everybody. My name is Randy Rosenblum, set to call the play-by-play. This is the professor, Mr. Paul Westfall. We have Rancho Christian from California, from Temecula Valley, one of the top teams in all of California, against Liberty from Henderson, Nevada, one of the top teams in the state of Nevada. This is a great matchup.
No question about that, Randy. Liberty is a team on the rise. They try to play as difficult a schedule as they can possibly find in order to prepare themselves for the Nevada State playoffs, and the formula seems to be working. They've won a playoff game in each of the last 3 years, and Randy, this might be their most talented team ever. But for Rancho Christian, this is a nationally ranked team who has high expectations due to the volume of Division I players they have on the team. But they're trying to correct a very disappointing season last year when they didn't finish as strong as they thought they were going to, and playing a quality program like Liberty is just another step in the process.
We're going to see if the professor can crack the code. Numbers, that's what we're going to give him. 28, 38, 48, 51. Crack the code.
Well, that's the scoring totals for one of the nation's premier scorers, Liberty's Julian Strother. Strother is a true three-level scorer with deep range on his three ball, an excellent mid-range game, and a solid handle that enables him to get to the front of the rim to finish. But the thing I like best about Strother is that he always wants to get better. He wants to work on his weaknesses, which are few. But, Randy, that kind of attitude is going to endear him to Mark Few and Gonzaga, where he'll play next year.
It certainly will. Now, on the other side, Rancho Christian possesses the top high school player in America. Number 4 is number 1. That's Evan Mobley.
Yeah, it's hard to get a consensus number 1 in the country, but this year it is indeed Evan Mobley. He's a 7-footer who plays like a 6'5", highly skilled guard. He can score, he can defend, he can rebound and block shots. On top of that, he's ambidextrous with a 40-inch vertical leap and a Mensa-like basketball IQ. Randy, Evan Mobley's presence gives Rancho Christian a chance to win every game.
It's Nevada against California. It's Rancho Christian against Liberty. The Eagles and the Patriots. We'll be back with the starting lineup and the tip-off next on our KDOC Game of the Week.
From the Golden Coast and rolling hills to iconic cityscapes, this is a getaway that begins the moment you step on board. Cruise along tracks that connect you to Southern California's top destinations and experience an unforgettable ride. When was the last time you were moved by a train? Embrace the journey with us and plan your next trip at PacificSurfliner.com.
When it comes to health coverage, it helps to have someone in your corner. That's why there's Covered California. We're the only place where you can get financial help to pay for your health insurance. New this year, almost 1 million people could receive additional financial help from the state to help lower the cost of health insurance. More for those already getting it, and new help for many who haven't gotten help before. So check to see how much you can save. It only takes 5 minutes. To be covered by January 1st, enroll by December 15th.
Louis, you've been craving Wingstop's flavor for way too long now. It's so good to be back. Back where lemon and pepper get a buttery bath and never felt zustier. Where freshly made just for you chicken learns to fly. Where 11 flavors each go to 11. It's like the first time, every time. Wingstop, where flavor gets its wings. Now get your flavor delivered to your door at wingstop.com.
How does Peter do fun?
Well, this has given me a lot to think about.
Family Guy, weeknights at 10 and 10:30 on KDOC TV, Los Angeles.
Last night we had that wonderful rivalry game. Fairfax traveling to Westchester to play the Comets. Comets struggled to score. They got a putback basket there by Mays. But this was a game about great defense at one end by Fairfax, and a hard time to stop that man, Keith Dinwiddie. He was terrific for the Lions.
Yeah, he turned a 2-point game into a 13-point game with 11 straight points in the second quarter in a matter of a couple of minutes. And Westchester spent the rest of the time trying to catch up from that double-digit deficit, and they never could really close the gap. But Dinwiddie, with some help from players like Hunter and Gladney, came up with a huge rivalry victory to get that Western League campaign off to a good start.
Yeah, Fairfax will be the favorite. It appears in the LA City section. And Keith Dinwiddie, who's on his way to San Diego State, was fabulous. He had an 11-0 burst on his own in the second quarter in this game. And again, these teams met 3 times last year. Fairfax won all 3 in the LA City division, won the Open Crown, and Fairfax off of the victory last night on KDOC. And this man, Keith Dinwiddie, appears to be the team to beat again.
Well, both these teams are going to get better as the year progresses. You can see the team chemistry building even this early in the season. So don't discount Westchester's chance to answer that loss at home the next time they play at Fairfax. But both these teams are going to be better in February than they are in December.
There's a nice basket by Gladney. These are some great highlights from last night's game. And Fairfax ended up winning this game 75-64. Fairfax is 7-0, Professor. They look terrific.
I'll tell you, this is a team that's got good balance, good guard play. If they can get some baseline success as the season progresses, they're always going to be a great defensive team. They're going to be a tough out.
Yeah, they really are. And again, as you mentioned, here's Wainwright, who's got to get going down the stretch this year. A sophomore guard that is really good for Edison. Started cold last night, but he has terrific skills.
Well, and he didn't let his offensive woes affect the rest of his game, and I liked that. He guarded with ferocity, a ferocious nature. And I just think it was one of those nights for a shooter. You have those nights where the ball just doesn't go in, and that was one of them for TJ. He won't have many.
Well, he's not missing very many on our highlight package, is he? But he missed a few early on, but he really came on late in the contest. Fairfax and Westchester, always a treat, always 2 terrific teams. Every year it seems like they battle it out in the LA City section. Westchester won it 2 years ago over Fairfax in the finals. Last year, Fairfax won it.
The holidays are better together. Your Southern California Toyota dealers wish you and your family a wonderful holiday season. Toyota, let's go places.
From the Golden Coast and rolling hills to iconic cityscapes, this is a getaway that begins the moment you step on board. Cruise along tracks that connect you to Southern California's top destinations and experience an unforgettable ride. When was the last time you were moved by a train? Embrace the journey with us and plan your next trip at PacificSurfliner.com.
Louis, you've been craving Wingstop's flavor for way too long now. It's so good to be back. Back where lemon and pepper get a buttery bath and never felt zustier. Where freshly made just for you chicken learns to fly. Where 11 flavors each go to 11. It's like the first time, every time. Wingstop, where flavor gets its wings. Now get your flavor delivered to your door at wingstop.com.
It took over 100 years to perfect this masterpiece of Italian design and performance. In about 15 minutes, for us to paint one neon green and do this.
Blends right into the Italian architecture.
See everything you should never do with an Alfa Romeo. Then experience everything you should on the road now.
Well-qualified lessees get a low-mileage lease on the 2019 Giulia for $299 a month. Visit your local Alfa Romeo.
The Pacific Surfliner CIF Game of the Week on KDOC TV is brought to you by Amtrak Pacific Surfliner. Need a getaway? Getting there is half the fun when you travel by train. Visit PacificSurfliner.com. And by Wingstop. Open late. Order online at wingstop.com. Getting set for the Liberty Patriots and Rancho Christian Eagles. Should be a lot of fun. Two terrific squads. Rancho Christian, one of the top-ranked teams in the state of California, featuring Evan Mobley, the 7-footer, and Liberty's Patriots and Julian Strother, who averages 41 points a game.
One of the elite scorers in the country. This is a young man that I saw as a sophomore, and you could just see the potential in his game. And he's a young man who has an excellent feel for the game. He's not a volume shooter. You think somebody who averages 41 points a game must shoot it 40 times a game. He does not. He's a smooth scorer. He's the type of guy who's got an excellent handle so he can get himself out of trouble. But he likes to pass. He would just soon make an assist than make a basket. And there are just times when he's the guy that's got to get it going. But, of course, going against this man here, Evan Mobley, will be the toughest task that Liberty has faced in a couple of years.
Evan Mobley, the USC commit, signed in August. His father, Eric, is an assistant coach at USC. His brother's already there, Isaiah Mobley. He averaged 19 points, 10 rebounds, and 5 blocks a year ago. He's long, he's athletic, mobile, and very skilled. It'll be fun to watch him tonight. It's time for our starting lineups presented by Wingstop. Open late, order online. It's at wingstop.com. And there are the starting fives, and the professor will take you through these.
For the Liberty Patriots, they're a little short-handed tonight. They've got some guys a little bit under the weather and a young man who's missing the game because he took his SAT tonight. But the starters, Julian Strother, Dante Davis, Lorenzo Abelar, Mo Matavao, and Joshua Jefferson, an exciting sophomore player. For Rancho Christian, it's Bryson Stevens, Jaden Byers, Dominic Harris on his way to Gonzaga. Evan Mobley and Luke Turner round out the starting five for my good friend Ray Bearfield in his 7th year as the head man at Rancho Christian.
It's interesting. We saw Luke Turner really light it up in this building last year against Sierra Canyon, hitting a number of corner threes, had 15 points in the first half, and shot Rancho Christian into a lead, and they held off Sierra Canyon, the future state champions. That's the kind of talent Luke Turner is.
Yes, and he's like the 3rd or 4th best guy on the team. That's how loaded Rancho Christian is.
They really are. I know the professor has some keys for Rancho Christian and Liberty.
For the Liberty Patriots, one and done, and I don't mean that's what Julian Strother's future is at Gonzaga. What I mean by that is Rancho Christian spreads the floor so well, it's tough to keep them off the offensive glass, and that'll be a challenge tonight for Liberty. They're going to have to rebound defensively in order to keep Rancho Christian from just playing volleyball with it until it goes in the basket. And then, who is Robin today? Julian Strother is the Batman, no question about that. He's scoring about close to 60% of their points on the season, but they're going to have somebody come up with a double-figure night in order to support Julian, and they've got a few candidates for that, but we'll see who's Robin tonight for the Patriots.
And on the other side, your keys for Rancho Christian.
Well, shot selection is always a key for Rancho Christian because they have so many talented offensive players that sometimes they get a little bit selfish because they're all skilled offensive players. And then both ends of the court. In the 2 games they lost this year, when they lost to Santa Clarita Christian and to Corona Centennial, Coach Bearfield was disappointed in their defensive. They just kind of forgot their defensive philosophies, and that's something they've been stressing since then. They haven't lost since then, but they have to remember, as skilled as they are offensively, there are 2 ends of the court.
Getting off to a little bit of a late start here. This is the 6th game of the day. Jerry Freitas has put together a Nevada versus Southern California format, and this is game number 6 as the teams continue to warm up. We'll have the tip-off in about 5 minutes for Rancho Christian and Liberty. It's going to be an exciting game, a competitive game, and we've seen great basketball throughout. Bishop Gorman just won a basketball game over San Gabriel Academy. But for the most part, the Southern California teams, Paul, have prevailed.
They have, and for Bishop Gorman, the number 1 ranked team in Nevada, that's the first Nevada victory of the day. Harvard Westlake won the opener. Rebay Academy, a really good team that's flying under the radar, won game 2 rather handily. Corona Centennial had quite a battle with Coronado, but they prevailed late in the 4th quarter to win. And Etiwanda always has their defensive game face on, and they played another stellar defensive game tonight, and they won their game 60-44. over Desert Pines.
Yeah, it's always fun to watch Dave Kleckner teams. We talked about it on the tip-off, Sean, how they play defense. You just can't get a shot off against Etiwanda. It's got a whole bunch of guys, 6'2", 6'3", 6'4". They play suffocating defense. They all buy in. Etiwanda is a marvelously well-coached basketball machine, especially defensively.
Always, and that's a trademark of Dave Kleckner's teams, is you will never, and that's a capital N, a never, see Etiwanda play zone defense. If you can't play man-to-man defense on Etiwanda, you'd be best off going somewhere else or sitting next to the coach, because Dave, when he played at Arizona State, that was his trademark, was sound man-to-man defense. And Etiwanda, they make you earn every basket, and they did again tonight, holding their opposition to 44, and that's not rare. Oftentimes it's tough to get to 50 against the Eagles.
On our Pacific Surfliner Game of the Week on KDOC, down the road we're going to have Sierra Canyon. They were out of state tonight, and they really had a challenge, didn't they?
They did indeed. They were down late to St. Vincent St. Mary's over in Akron, and if you think you know that name, yes, you do. That was LeBron James High School, and LeBron was in attendance tonight watching his son Bronny play, and Sierra Canyon came from behind in the fourth quarter to prevail 52-40. I think I forget the final score actually, but they were down and came back to win in the final couple of minutes. So that's a signature victory for Andre Chevalier, going out east and playing St. Vincent St. Mary's and coming back with a win.
Of course, Andre's team, Sierra Canyon, the two-time state champions of California, loaded for bear again as we have some time here again, a couple minutes prior to the contest. There's some other teams that are off to terrific starts. One of them is Mater Dei. Now, the competition that the Monarchs are playing so far, not quite as strong as, let's say, Sierra Canyon or some of the teams we're seeing here tonight. But Mater Dei, Gary McKnight appears to have another very powerful team. He has all 5 starters back from last year.
Yes, led by Devin Askew, of course, who's on his way to Kentucky. They also have Nick Davidson, who's an emerging big man, as their 6th man. So the Monarchs are loaded, and their competition level will increase dramatically soon. They go up to Portland, Oregon, and play in a very good Les Schwab tournament. And so the Monarchs will be tested before they get into that very rigorous Trinity League. And Gary McKnight's team, they're going to be a contender. If there's anybody that I think can match up with the likes of Rancho Christian and Sierra Canyon, it's the Monarchs.
Yeah, they were inexperienced, overachieved last year, went close to 30 games. There's another inside player I really like who can go out and knock down threes, Wilhelm Breedenbach. He was fun to watch last year, and he's just another year older and that much better.
Yeah, he's stronger. He's a real student of the game, so he worked on the things that he was maybe a little bit deficient at last year, and is, I think, going to be one of the best large wing players in California before it's all done. Then, of course, you can't forget Etiwanda. A number of these teams are going to get players coming up December 30th. That's the 30-day sit period ends, and so there's a number of teams that are going to pick up some really good players coming up at the end of December, one of them being Jalen Clark over there at Etiwanda. He might be the missing piece for the Etiwanda team we just talked about. There are just a number of guys, including, of course, maybe the best player in California other than Evan Mobley, and Zaire Williams, who's going to start playing for Sierra Canyon when the 30-day sit is over.
Yeah, I saw Zaire last year at Notre Dame Sherman Oaks before he transferred to Sierra Canyon. He is a wonderful player, and that's going to make that Sierra Canyon Trailblazer squad that much stronger. Not that they needed more talent.
Yeah, they can get better. Oh, my goodness gracious.
Yeah, they're beating some of the powerhouses around America, and they add Zaire Williams. We thank you at home for your patience as we wait for tip-off for Rancho Christian and Liberty, the Patriots. And there's the man, Evan Mobley. He's so fluid and runs the court so well, and I think it's a great treat for our fans at home to be able to watch Mobley perform while he's still in high school.
A generational talent, and I don't say that very often about players because I think they get overhyped. But this young man has been taught the right way. His dad, Eric, coached he and brother Isaiah in AAU ball, and they learned how to play the right way. Sometimes Evan is unselfish, even to his own detriment, almost unselfish to a fault, because he understands the complete game on both ends. A remarkable player. You're lucky to get a chance to see him tonight. We'll see Rancho Christian at least one more time this year, maybe 2. And I'll tell you, he's a rare find, a guy who's 7 feet tall with a 7'4" wingspan, and if you saw him out playing by himself, you'd think he was 6'5".
There's Julian Strother coming out. So what is Liberty going to have to do? They're the underdog here. There's no question about it. They have an outstanding club, but they're playing against an All-American, and he's surrounded by some outstanding players. What will Liberty have to do to knock off this Rancho Christian team?
Well, Coach Stephen Bird, in his sixth year there, has built this program up from next to nothing. And this is the most talented team he's had this year. Now, they're a little shorthanded tonight, but they've got their two best players out there in Strother and Joshua Jefferson, who's a real exciting sophomore, 6'6", and about 215. An emerging player. I think if they rebound the basketball tonight, and they're going to have to send 5 to the glass and rebound, if they can keep Rancho Christian to one shot, and then offensively just somebody help out Strother, he's going to get his. I think this team can hang around with a Rancho Christian team, and this is a real step forward for Liberty. They're going to get into their Nevada State playoffs. They won't see anybody this talented till maybe they get to Bishop Gorman.
Here comes Luke Turner being introduced to the fan base here. And this is exciting for these players. Nevada against Southern California. Southern California's had the best of the day, but you get the best of the best in Evan Mobley. And again, down the road, he figures to be not only a lottery pick, but arguably the #1 selection overall when he decides to leave USC and enter the NBA draft.
No, I agree wholeheartedly. And he would be the first Southern California product to be #1 in the draft since Bill Walton. That's how long it's been since a SoCal player has been #1 in the draft.
From the Golden Coast and rolling hills to iconic cityscapes, this is a getaway that begins the moment you step on board. Cruise along tracks that connect you to Southern California's top destinations and experience an unforgettable ride. When was the last time you were moved by a train? Embrace the journey with us and plan your next trip at PacificSurfliner.com.
When it comes to health coverage, it helps to have someone in your corner. That's why there's Covered California. We're the only place where you can get financial help to pay for your health insurance. New this year, almost 1 million people could receive additional financial help from the state to help lower the cost of health insurance. More for those already getting it, and new help for many who haven't gotten help before. So check to see how much you can save. It only takes 5 minutes. To be covered by January 1st, enroll by December 15th.
Louis, you've been craving Wingstop's flavor for way too long now. It's so good to be back. Back where lemon and pepper get a buttery bath and never felt zustier. Where freshly made just for you chicken learns to fly. Where 11 flavors each go to 11. It's like the first time, every time. Wingstop, where flavor gets its wings. Now get your flavor delivered to your door at wingstop.com.
How does Peter do fun?
Well, this has given me a lot to think about.
Family Guy, weeknights at 10 and 10:30 on KDOC TV, Los Angeles.
All right, we're back at Pasadena City College. It's Rancho Christian, the Eagles 6-2. Liberty Patriots from Henderson, Nevada, 3-1. They've won their last 3 in a row. And we are ready for some outstanding basketball. The two stars in the center circle, Mobley and Strother. Sit back, relax, and enjoy this one. It will be exciting.
Little sidebar we haven't talked about yet is Strother, we mentioned, is going to Gonzaga, but so is Dominic Harris on the opposite side, #2 for Rancho Christian. Should be fun on the occasions that they're going to guard each other. They obviously know each other really well.
Luke Turner has it, and it'll be the Eagles' ball to begin. High school, they play with the 35-second shot clock. There's an easy drive to the basket, 2 for Bryson Stevens. Rancho Christian pressing all over the floor.
But Liberty's got good ball handlers, so they may be able to break this press and get some easy ones.
Strother with the air ball. It's out of bounds, and it belongs to Rancho Christian.
Liberty will be man defense most of the night. Coach Berg said they'll play a little zone maybe to protect people in foul trouble, and being shorthanded tonight bench-wise, that could be a factor, but for the most part they're going to play man-to-man. They'll switch on the screens, and this is a team with a lot of athletes, so we'll see if Rancho Christian is up to the test.
The banker fails, crash tip, it's out of bounds, it belongs to Liberty. Dominic Harris attacked the goal and came up empty.
Dominic is a supremely talented offensive player, but sometimes he forces things just a touch. And we'll see if he plays under control, he can get you 25.
Matavao inside, and he's rejected beautifully by Mobley. That's what the big guy can do. And a run out. Turner is free. Matavao with the rebound.
Mo Matavao is a great story. He's one of the top ranked tight ends in the country. We'll talk about who's looking at him football-wise when we get a chance.
Number 3, Abelar, able to get his own miss for Liberty. He played 90 seconds at Pasadena City College. Rancho Christian by 2. Jefferson with the left hand shot. And Mobley's there to clear it out. And here come Rancho Christian, a great drive to the goal and an easy one for Bryson Stevens.
Stevens got about a 40-inch vertical leap, and he's got a strong upper body, so he just played right through contact there.
Good start for Rancho Christian, and a turnover against the Patriots. And in the first 2 minutes, Rancho Christian looks very good.
Well, Mobley's 7'4" wingspan has come into play a couple of times already, one with a block shot and the other time just reaching over the top of the Patriot to get the defensive rebound.
2 baskets already for Bryson Stevens, and here's an easy slam dunk for Jaden Byers, the 6'2" junior.
The lefty is ultra quick, known more as an athletic defender, but you can see he can finish too.
Strother behind the back, able to draw the foul. Julian Strother played for the under-19 Puerto Rico team in the summer at the World Cup for Grayson, averaged 22 a game. He's quite a performer, so number 0 for the Patriots. Again, is averaging 41 points a game through the first 4 outings.
Set a record in the Hoop Hall West out in Arizona when he had 51 against Glendale Apollo.
Dante Davis not close, and early on Liberty offline with its shots.
Yeah, they look like they're in a little bit of a hurry offensively. I just think they need to see the ball go through the basket one time, and they'll calm down a little bit.
Eagles pitching an early shutout. Harris lost the handle. Davis is blocked by Mobley.
Oh my goodness gracious. He almost went up and caught that.
Turner for 3. Mobley follows. Oh, Evan Mobley blocking a shot at one end of the arena and laying it up at the other end.
He's so smooth. He runs the floor effortlessly. Covers a lot of ground with those long strides.
Strother all the way, banks it in, and Liberty is on the board.
And the degree of difficulty for Julian that time was high, but he was able to absorb the contact and kiss it off the glass, and now Liberty finally on the board. Maybe that will relax everybody else.
Turner with the drive. Jefferson did a nice job defending him. And Strother up tempo.
Liberty wants to push. They want to play fast. They're not going to, whether they're understaffed or not.
Matavao playing some bully ball, but he missed it, and Dominic Harris comes back for the Eagles. Harris got it. Dominic Harris scissoring in for 2.
Creative scorer, started his high school career at Pacifica Christian, transferred at the midpoint of last season, and he's a streaky shooter. If he makes a couple, watch out.
Strother, that one fell off the iron. Rancho Christian doing a great job early on. It's out of bounds. It'll be retained by the Eagles. 3:43 left in the opening quarter. Rancho Christian running out to a 10-2 lead. They've looked great early on, and Byers jammed it through.
holidays are better together. Your Southern California Toyota dealers wish you and your family a wonderful holiday season. Toyota, let's go places.
At HealthNet, we're here for individuals, families, employers, all of us. Because we believe every person deserves a safety net for their health, no matter their age, income, employment status, or current state of health. But time is running out to choose an individual and family plan through Covered California. Sign up by December 15th for coverage beginning January 1st. HealthNet, coverage for every stage of life.
Tonight's Pacific Surfliner Game of the Week on KDOC TV is brought to you by Amtrak Pacific Surfliner. Travel by train to Southern California's top destinations. Book today at PacificSurfliner.com. Terrific start for Rancho Christian, and we've seen Mobley blocking shots and rebounding the ball effectively early.
Yeah, dominating the game in a subtle sort of way. He's not flashy. He could be, but his Mensa-like IQ prevents him from being the type of guy who just looks for his own. But defensively, he has made it difficult for Liberty. We got a whistle and a foul. Tim Triplett's got the call. But Mobley affects the game in so many different ways that once he blocks a couple of shots, then you start looking for him anytime you get within about 10 feet of the hoop. And offensively, he's a load.
An exciting transfer from Missouri, number 5 in for Rancho Christian, Chase Catchings. Excellent drive by Mobley. He draws the foul.
Catchings might be the missing piece this year. He was a 20-point per game scorer, oddly enough, at Liberty High School in the St. Louis area. And he's still kind of learning how to fit in here at Rancho Christian, but he's a very skilled player, played with Bradley Beal's AAU team in the St. Louis area. He set a school record, 44 points, when he was at Liberty High School in the St. Louis area. But I think the young man just might be the kind of guy coming off the bench that can contribute on both ends. He's a very skilled player, number 5 for Rancho Christian.
Mobley has 3 points, 3:30 to play in the opening quarter. 10-3. Long-range 3 ball is up and beautiful for Dante Davis. Guy who can space the floor, spot up and knock down those triples.
I think they have got the score wrong. I think it's 11-5. They gave that free throw to Liberty. They'll get that fixed, but I'm pretty sure it's 11-5 like we have on our screen. Nonetheless, Liberty's got a number of guys that can shoot a 3 ball, and if they can get a chance to get a clean look, they should be able to create some room for Strauger.
By the way, Liberty will take that extra point if they're willing to give it to him, as Mobley's back to the free throw line. Again, I think he said it best on our pregame show. He's got point guard skills. He can really handle it, and he runs the floor so well. That's what's so impressive about this 7-footer.
Yeah, he's a remarkable athlete. His brother Isaiah contributing already at USC, very similar in ability, but I think Evan is better, and that's certainly no slight on Isaiah. But he just, like say, if you saw him running around the gym by himself, you'd think, God, this guy's, he's pretty good, 6'4", 6'5" guy. Only problem is he's 7 feet tall with that same skill set. Comes around, those kind of guys come around once in a generation. And Ray Bearfield, who has known Eric Mobley, Evan's dad, since they were in the 5th grade. So I'm sure that Eric would have nobody else coach Isaiah and Evan other than Ray Bearfield.
Well, pressure by the Eagles and a near steal by Mobley with that arm span, and there's a nice drive and a basket.
Really nice finish by Grayson Montgomery. The young man's a little bit undersized at 6'1", but Coach Berg said he is a battler. He likes to take on taller players. He'll give them fits.
Mobley slams it home again. Once he gets that entrance pass, you're not going to stop him.
No, you might as well turnover. Turnover against Liberty. Yeah, you're not gonna play behind him because he's just going to go over you. But so you're going to have to try to 3-quarter him, go for steals, that type of thing. And if you miss, it's going to be a dunk. But that's you want to die slowly or you want the quick death.
He can do it any which way. He's got 5 points, a couple blocks, a few rebounds early on. They triple team him and take it away. And it was Montgomery that was able to pilfer the basketball.
It was. He's a pest out there.
They stop Strother. Here come the Eagles the other way. And a layup. Beautiful shot by Dominic Harris. He's so smooth in the open floor.
Yeah, he's made 2 baskets, and both of them were fancy.
There, speaking of fancy, is Strother in the open court, and that's what Julian can do. He can and probably will keep Liberty in this basketball game. He is a scoring machine.
Yeah, no question about it. As I mentioned before, he's scoring they're close to 60% of their team's points through 4 games.
Another layup, and it's in for the big fella Mobley. Scoring it with the left hand, showing ambidextrous skills.
No doubt about it. He broke his wrist as a young player, and that sort of forced him to learn how to use the offhand, and that's to his benefit.
Strother is short. Dante Davis able to retrieve it, get it inside, and there's Julian Strother. He has 6 first-quarter points.
And the game has taken on the identity I thought it might. Liberty will score in transition because they really want to push the tempo. And Rancho Christian, if they can get the ball inside, they're going to be almost impossible to stop.
Byers with the drive, had it slapped away. It's out of bounds. Will be retained by Rancho Christian.
But who's diving on the floor there to make things difficult for Rancho Christian? It's Grayson Montgomery.
You like players like that. You have to have guys that'll do the dirty work.
No doubt. That's my kind of guy out there. Making the most out of the ability that God gave him.
Harris is bumped. Obvious foul. Inside of a minute to play in the opening quarter. With the professor, Paul Westphal. I'm Randy Rosenblum. We're at Pasadena City College. Privileged to be looking in on really the #1 recruit in America. #4 is on his way to USC. It's a great thrill for us to see him. We'll see him a few more times on our Game of the Week. Look at him outside handling the agate, a 7-foot point guard.
With either hand, it doesn't really matter.
Byers from distance misses. Here's Strother the other way. Tip, they battle for it. Good job there defensively, and Mobley's able to get inside. Failed on the shot, and we have a whistle. Both teams are really going after one another.
Liberty can't afford those kind of open court turnovers. They had successfully retrieved the basketball and had a chance for a run out, but Strother with an ill-conceived dribble through 3 Rancho Christian Eagles. They have to value every possession because, let's face it, Rancho Christian's going to score a lot more after a miss than Liberty is, and so you got to minimize those turnovers when you're a little bit of the underdog.
Harris puts in the second one. He has 6 points in the opening quarter. He'll get a breather.
He got a big smile from Ray Bearfield. I think Dominic has played under control, which is great because when he does that, he's a terrific guard. He's got high Division I kind of skills, as shown by the fact that he's going to Gonzaga.
Turner with a beautiful save. Terrific hustle. And once again, the 7-footer looking for some help in the backcourt, and Abelar took the basketball away from him. Mobley got it back.
An admirable effort, though, by Abelar. He knew who was coming behind him.
There's a terrific rejection at the other end by Strother. Turner at the buzzer got it to go. Nice job inside by Luke Turner. 22-11 for Rancho Christian after the first quarter. Our Pacific Surfliner Game of the Week on KDOC.
You only get so many firsts in life, Lisa, and this bite of Wingstop is one of them. This is where lemon and pepper get a buttery bath and never felt zestier. Where freshly made just for you chicken learns to fly. Where 11 flavors each go to 11. Should we give you a moment? Wingstop, where flavor gets its wings. Now get your flavor delivered to your door at wingstop.com.
The moment the latest technology arrives, James has to have it. Like that 4K TV and his new smartphone every year. But with the savings of Hyundai Holidays, it's finally their turn.
Thank you, honey.
Save big on the hottest technology for your whole family. Hyundai Holidays. The longer you look, the more there is to like.
Now, lease a 2020 Kona for just $169 a month, or get 0.9% APR for 60 months. Only at your SoCal Hyundai.
We can't hope for safety. It's our job to deliver it.
Chicago PD, weekdays at 3 on KDOC TV, Los Angeles.
The Pacific Surfliner CIF Game of the Week on KDOC TV is brought to you by Amtrak Pacific Surfliner. Need a getaway? Getting there is half the fun when you travel by train. Visit PacificSurfliner.com. And by your Southern California Toyota dealers. Toyothon is on. Get incredible year-end savings on a reliable new Toyota. And there's another long-range shot, and Avalar buries it.
He's a deadly three-point shooter with a quick release. I think he's going to be a really good Division II type of guard, but he's fearless.
Catching's all the way. It's deflected and taken by a hustling Dante Davis.
And look how they push it. That was 2-on-3, but they were not going to pull up and wait for everybody. That's how Liberty wants to play. They're not intimidated.
No, when you have a scorer like Strother, you surround him with shooters, you have a shot against anyone. And this team from Henderson, Nevada wants to spring the upset. Strother going one-on-one. Turner clears for Rancho Christian.
And Julian will make that more often than not, a lot more often than not. He has a terrific pull-up mid-range game. That one just off the back iron.
Montgomery flashing out and doing some good defensive work. Number 15 for Liberty. Outstanding perimeter defensive skills. That one's up and in. Chase Catchings, there's that young man from Missouri that transferred in, and he is a deadeye.
Well, a really good pass creation by Evan Mobley that time. He handles it like a guard, and then a terrific pass right where a shooter wants it. He threw it right waist high where Catchings just a quick catch and shoot, no pun intended.
That's on the boundary. It's out of bounds. Give it back to Rancho Christian. So far, the long distance shot not falling for Julian Strother.
Now that'll change. I think he might be trying just a touch too hard playing against a guy like Mobley, who had him originally when the game started. But Julian will warm up.
Stevens.
That's a discontinued dribble.
Yep, it's going to turn it over and give it to Liberty. Bryson Stevens scored the first 4 points of the game for Rancho Christian. They bolted to an early 8-0 lead. It's a 10-point cushion for the Eagles currently. But this team from Henderson, Nevada, Liberty, has stabilized and starting to get some offensive flow. Dante Davis from downtown. Too much on that one, and coming back the other way is Jared Byers. Mobley, that long stride, and the thunderous dunk.
And he took off from about 12 feet away.
Strother looking to answer. Josh Jefferson. Jefferson with a good look inside with the left hand. Didn't finish, and Mobley clears. Mobley's already got 9 rebounds and 9 points.
If Liberty's going to hang with Rancho Christian, Joshua Jefferson, number 32, he's got to finish those.
Mobley would have finished that one had he not been fouled. He was looking to slam that one in like he did on the baseline.
And look where he left the floor. I mean, he was nowhere near the lane, and it was an easy dunk when you got that 40-inch vertical leap. My goodness, I can't imagine his talents in the long jump would be considerable.
Wouldn't be bad in the high jump either. He gets up into the night, doesn't he?
Well, something that he doesn't do perfectly. That's a couple of free throws, I believe, that he's missed tonight, but that's a small weakness in an otherwise ideal basketball player's game.
He was very good last year, and he has really matured in his senior year. His head coach, Andy Enfield, was here earlier. He's walking around the building. Andy Enfield at USC, probably bragging, that's the guy I got.
Yeah, there was actually very little recruitment of Evan because everybody knew where he was going. It wasn't any secret that SC was going to have him, so people didn't waste their time.
Strother going down the middle, and one for Julian Strother. And of course, it's a little bit easier when the big fella's off the floor.
Well said, Mr. Rosenblum. Yes, indeed. Julian saw immediately that the lane, it looked a little less crowded without Mobley in there in that wingspan, and Julian with a nice three-point play.
Julian again will score, and with Mobley out of there, he's going to take it strong to the rack.
Now we'll see where the offense starts with Rancho Christian. Number 25, Jaden Simpson, came into the game to replace Evan Mobley.
And a turnover, and it was Abelar's tight defense on Stevens.
Oh, he's a tenacious defender. Coach Berg told me that he wants to guard the other team's best player. And he didn't care if it's Evan Mobley or not. He wants to guard the other team's best player. Now, you can't put him on a 7-footer, but anybody under that, Lorenzo wants.
I'd like to see him try to guard Mobley, though.
that would be
it would be entertaining.
Amusing, yes, indeed.
Davis and Strother. That's a good feed in low to Jefferson. He's getting the looks. He's just not finishing around the cup.
That's 3 times now that he's used a good head and shoulder fake to get himself clearance. He just hasn't finished the task. But the young sophomore already has an offer from Texas A&M. And he'll have a lot more.
Offline, and will stay at that end of the arena. Another crack at the goal for Rancho Christian.
But if that one had gone in for Jefferson, suddenly it's a single-digit deficit. Liberty doing a nice job after a very slow start of hanging around.
Byers. Jaden Byers, the junior southpaw. That was pretty.
Yeah, that had good rotation. We had a great look at it. High, arcing shot.
Abelar, no good. There's Jefferson. Feeds to you-know-who, Strother, and an opportunity for another three-point play. And Julian is starting to pile up the points. Well, we have magnificent talent on the floor tonight. Rancho Christian in this second quarter leads Liberty by 11 on our Game of the Week from Pacific Surfliner on KDOC.
It's Happy Honda Day, spread the news. We helped Santa bottle his micro brews. Gave a friend a harmonica the last night of Hanukkah, and helped a cookie get 1 million views.
Just a dab of frosting. You don't want to look too cakey.
And during Happy Honda Days, we can help you too. Right now, you can lease a 2019 Civic LX for just $189 a month plus tax. And people buy Civics more than any other car in California.
Happy Honda Days.
Ernest Hemingway wrote The Old Man and the Sea at 52. Satchel Paige was still dominating batters at 59. Celia Cruz was still winning Grammys at 77. John Wheeler illuminated our ideas of the universe at 70. And Roger Crouch was 56 when he first went into space. Your best is yet to come.
Tonight's Pacific Surfliner Game of the Week on KDOC TV is presented by Wingstop. Open late. Order online at wingstop.com. Going to the free throw line, Julian Strother. And he's got his second conventional three-point play of the night. And he's up to 11 points. And his point total will be soaring. And with that foul shot, give him another one. Give him a dozen on the evening.
He's the perfect size wing player for today's basketball.
Matador defense as Dominic Harris takes the baseline and scores. That's a situation there where the Liberty's Patriots did not do a nice job of sealing off the baseline, and you got to do that. Davis put it up and in, shooting up over Mobley, who has returned. Dante Davis.
Impressive drive and floater. I thought that shot had little chance to go in, and it was pure.
Against the zone, Mobley hasn't. Slam dunks, beautiful pass to get it to him. The entry pass by Jaden Byers.
Well, Liberty a couple of times has tried to three-quarter Mobley and then go for the steal on the entry pass, and that's not a bad play, but if you don't get it, it's going to be a dunk.
Strother in the middle. 8-foot runner for two.
Oh, over Mobley again. What a soft touch. That's why he's going to score a lot of points at the next level as well. He can score from anywhere on the floor.
Harris against the double team scored. That was a spectacular move by Dominic Harris.
I think he's had 3 baskets, and every one of them has been creative, special. He's got insane skills.
Lead is a dozen. Abelar moves the ball to Montgomery on the base. Jefferson saw the big fella, so he says, Dante, you take the shot.
And that's not going to show up in the box score, but Mobley affected that shot. Davis realized he had to arc it an extra foot higher than he normally would, and he didn't get credit for a block or anything, but he caused the miss.
Strother with 14 points already tonight. Still better than 2 minutes to play in the half. Back at the free throw line. He's got that soft shooter's touch.
Yep. Beautiful form, great rotation. Can score from anywhere.
His sister was an outstanding player at UNLV, graduated last season. Had an opportunity to see Paris Strother perform for 4 years for the Lady Rebels. Lead reduced to 10. Liberty still within shouting distance of this powerful Rancho Christian Eagles team. Turner with the pull-up.
Luke hasn't gotten one to go yet.
They crashed the glass. Turner has this one go in for him. Luke Turner's first basket of the night.
Well, that's what I talked about in the keys was Liberty had to be one and done as far as getting the defensive rebound, and they gave him 3 tries that time, and it proved to be the 3rd time was the charm.
Turner taking that outlet pass. Rancho Christian moving the ball well. There's Turner in the corner, and Abelar is going to push it for Liberty. Dante Davis. And a clean look.
They know they need those because he had his feet set, nobody in front of him. Those are the ones they got to make if they're going to hang. They could have cut that inside of 10.
Final minute, opening half. Rancho Christian and Mobley going to work. Nice kick out into the corner. Shot failed. But again, Mobley showing his point guard skills.
And his length. I thought that was going to be out of bounds for sure.
Yeah, he gave Catchings a perfect pass, but Chase just couldn't knock down the triple. Final half minute, 18 on the shot clock, so Eagles will have to release a shot. And here it comes from Harris. Davis is fouled by Catchings. 22 seconds left in the half.
No matter, just the 5th team foul, so no free throws. But here's a chance now. If Liberty can knock down a 3 as the last shot of the half, as poorly as they started this game, they will be within single digits going into the locker room. You can't feel too badly about the first half if Liberty can somehow find a way to get the last basket.
And Strother will bring it up, be very deliberate. He knows he's got 15 seconds to release the shot. One would think they'll play through him, and certainly the Eagles will swarm 0.
Nice.
I know he's going to get the ball. Here he is out near the 10-second line with 5 seconds and a long 3. And he couldn't get it to fall. Mobley has it, and the half is over. Turner nearly banked it in from midcourt. It would not have counted. Well, it's all we expected. The big fella doing his thing, and Rancho Christian and company leads by a dozen at intermission.
Well, if it isn't Big Carl, you fixin' to sauce me up? Sick those beefy twins on this cheese hound? Scram, Big Mac. Go play with your extra toy bun. The adults are getting meaty.
Carl's Jr., you know what you want.
It took over 100 years to perfect this masterpiece of Italian design and performance. In about 15 minutes for us to paint one neon green and do this.
Blends right into the Italian architecture.
See everything you should never do with an Alfa Romeo. Then experience everything you should on the road now.
Well-qualified lessees get a low-mileage lease on the 2019 Giulia for $299 a month. Visit your local Alfa Romeo.
Got you a custom jersey. Thanks, man. Wait, it reads colon instead of colon.
Ooh.
You missed the accent.
I know how you feel. I was missing my favorite games, but then I switched to DirecTV, and they also gave me this season of NBA League Pass. Now I can watch the NBA whenever and wherever I want. Hey, maybe next time about your half-brother. Semicolon.
TV without NBA League Pass is just kinda TV. Switch and DirecTV will give you this season of NBA League Pass. Don't just kinda TV, DirecTV. Call 1-800-DirecTV.
There's a place where eyes twinkle as much as the lights. Where cold butterbeer can warm a village. And the one in the Santa suit is green and a bit of a Grinch. This place only exists once a year for those who believe. Join us and start a new tradition. Holidays at Universal Studios Hollywood.
Carl's Jr. They call you really big, Carl? Must be those triple-sauced meat heaps. How about you cloak me in cheese? Drape me in a three-piece patty suit like a beef tycoon. Carl's Jr., you know what
At halftime, we're happy to have with us Jerry Freitas. He has organized Nevada against California. Jerry, great to see you. How'd you come up with this event?
Well, it was something different. I mean, we see a lot of showcases in Southern California, and it somewhat regurgitates the same teams. So I just thought, let's do something different. Think a little bit outside the box. Vegas has good basketball, obviously, and we know we have good basketball in Southern California, so that's how it came together.
You know, you have a player like an Evan Mobley in this grouping of teams. Is that what you're looking for? Are you looking for, like, star power?
Well, I'm looking for both good players, star power, and good teams. You want both, and it's no secret that good players, good teams make a good event.
Jerry, talk a little bit about your background, because I know you've been around basketball for a long time, and you're the right guy for this event.
Well, I am a little unique in that I coached college basketball for 20 years. I currently run a scouting service in addition to operating the event, so I've kind of done it all, so to speak, throughout my basketball life.
What do you want to see from your tournament here? I mean, you have Nevada against California. Do you want to grow it out and make it a national situation?
Well, we'll see how it goes. I was approached by one of the Vegas coaches earlier, and he says, I have an idea. Let's rotate it. 1 year in SoCal, 1 year in Vegas, back and forth. I'm open to that. Getting it established, and then see how you build and grow from there.
6 games today. Is that going to be the standard bearer? Always 5 or 6 games on one platform?
More than likely. There's a few reasons for that. One being, if you guys are going to televise, you don't want to televise a midnight game. And some of the teams, if they have to play early in the day, they act like the world's coming to an end. So I don't want to start too early because of that. And that's the plan, 6 games.
All right, congratulations on a tremendous day of basketball, and going forward, best of luck.
All right, we appreciate you guys coming and being on board with us.
That's our pleasure. That's Jerry Freitas. He put it all together. We're going to come back more with Rancho, Christian, and Liberty right after this. This is the Game of the Week on KDOC.
Season's greetings from the helpful Honda guys. We pampered a puffin with puffy eyes. Helped the elves throw their first rodeo. Made a protein shake for a snowman bro.
Tomorrow, leg day.
And during Happy Honda Days, we can help you too. Right now, you can lease a 2019 Accord LX for just $249 a month plus tax. And the Accord has been named a Car and Driver 10 Best Winner a record 33 times.
Happy Honda Days.
From the Golden Coast and rolling hills to iconic cityscapes, this is a getaway that begins the moment you step on board. Cruise along tracks that connect you to Southern California's top destinations and experience an unforgettable ride. When was the last time you were moved by a train? Embrace the journey with us and plan your next trip at PacificSurfliner.com.
To Simone, I leave the Van Gogh. To Harrison, the wine collection. To Mateo, my favorite chair. Grace, you get the beach house. Just don't leave the lights on, okay? To Craig, this rock. To Jamie, well, let's just say enjoy the ride. The redwoods to the redheads. The rainbows to the proud. The almonds to Walter. The beaches to the bums. And the fog to who else? Carl. I leave these things to my heirs, all 39 million of you, on one condition, that you do everything to preserve and protect them. With love, California.
At the break, Rancho Christian, the Eagles lead by a dozen. Have some highlights, and I would imagine we'll have a 7-footer professor involved in these highlights.
He tends to stand out. Early on, Liberty had difficulties, and number 4 was a big part of that, as you see the rejection early on. And then Strother finally got one to go about midway through the first quarter after Rancho had gotten out to an 8-point lead. But Mobley was as good as advertised. A couple of times a good entry pass leads to a flush. And Dominic Harris was as creative as ever en route to his 10 first-half points. Mobley says, I'm not just a dunker. I can score with either hand, and that was a nice soft touch. But Strother was, after a slow start, I thought Strother played really well. 16 points, 16 points, and it still hasn't hit a 3-ball yet. So once that part of his game gets cooking, wouldn't be surprised to see Julian, as he had a couple of 3-point plays, wouldn't be surprised to see Julian on his way to 30-something tonight.
Yeah, again, he averages over 40. I like the way he gets to the basket. He's not shy about attacking the goal and going up against a Mobley and some of the big guys in there against Rancho Christian. But really, the Eagles had their way. They were able to get inside the Liberty defense.
Yeah, Liberty defensively on the baseline a little bit challenged. They're a little bit shorthanded tonight, but they're only 6'6", 6'6" across the front. Strother plays mostly outside. And there's our numbers.
See the excellent shooting for Rancho Christian. Of course, some of those dunks from Mobley certainly help out. Did not hit the 3. Both teams really struggled from beyond the arc. And top scorers, no surprise, Strother and Mobley. 16 for Julian Strother, 13 for Evan Mobley. Any of those numbers stick out for you,
Well,
Professor?
Rancho Christian, that's nearly, in fact, a little touch over 50% from the floor. Of course, a lot of those shots came from in close. Liberty just couldn't get the 3-ball to work, as you mentioned, Randy. And if they hit a couple of those, which is their norm, you're looking at, a single-digit deficit. So I thought Liberty, after a slow start, played very well the last, 12 minutes of the first half. And we'll see if they can continue that streak, get us, a little more Liberty-type basketball with a little more varied offense.
And you can see the first quarter was owned by Rancho Christian, but again, Liberty played much better in the second quarter. We'll have the second half for Rancho Christian and Liberty right after this. This is our Pacific Surfliner Game of the Week on KDOC.
This year, the gift you really want is at Nissan's year-end event. Get holiday savings on our tech-filled lineup, like Rogue or Altima, both with available Safety Shield 360. Hurry in. Holiday offers end soon. Get a low $199 per month lease on Altima, or get 0% financing for up to 72 months on 12 models.
When it comes to health coverage, it helps to have someone in your corner. That's why there's Covered California. We're the only place where you can get financial help to pay for your health insurance. New this year, almost 1 million people could receive additional financial help from the state to help lower the cost of health insurance. More for those already getting it, and new help for many who haven't gotten help before. So check to see how much you can save. It only takes 5 minutes. To be covered by January 1st, enroll by December 15th.
To Simone, I leave the Van Gogh. To Harrison, the wine collection. To Mateo, my favorite chair. Grace, you get the beach house. Just don't leave the lights on, okay? To Craig, this rock. To Jamie, well, let's just say enjoy the ride. The redwoods to the redheads. The rainbows to the proud. The almonds to Walter. The beaches to the bums. And the fog to who else? Carl. I leave these things to my heirs, all 39 million of you, on one condition, that you do everything to preserve and protect them. With love, California.
The Pacific Surfliner CIF Game of the Week on KDOC TV is brought to you by Amtrak Pacific Surfliner. Need a getaway? Getting there is half the fun when you travel by train. Visit PacificSurfliner.com. And by Wingstop. Open late. Order online at Wingstop.com. Well, Liberty has come back. Rancho Christian has left the building.
The referees just walked out, and they were the most surprised guys. They came out, and there was no one on the other end of the court, and the look on all three officials was classic, as it's like it's 10 seconds to go on the clock, and there's no Rancho Christian out there. But here they are. We will indeed have a second half of action, but I thought if Rancho didn't come out, Liberty has a chance to climb right back in this in a hurry.
Thought maybe they're going to win by forfeit there for a moment. But in their defense, the locker rooms are downstairs and they're fairly removed from this court. It's a beautiful facility here at Pasadena City College, but the locker rooms are a long way from this arena.
And we know that for a fact.
Yeah, we made the trek checking out the facility and going down to take a look at what the players were up against when they got prepared for the game. And it is a long journey to play here, but it is a great opportunity for two teams from different states to collide. It's an opportunity for Rancho Christian as they get the ball first here in the third quarter. Byers looks out on top to Turner, who will shoot a three, and got it. Luke Turner.
Might have been a point of emphasis in the locker room for Ray Bearfield. Turner was 0 for 3 or 4 from three-point land, and he's a lot better than that.
We know Luke Turner can knock those shots down. We saw him do that last year. And there's Strother getting inside the defense. We have an early timeout called.
Ray didn't like that much. First possession goes down on the baseline to Strother with a little pretty baby hook, and Ray up steamed calls a quick timeout, and my guess is not happy with the lack of defensive philosophy.
Would venture to say you are correct, and he's laying down the law. We got a pretty good game next week. St. Anthony, one of the teams that nobody talks about. You know, we're talking about early on the show the likes of Sierra Canyon and obviously modern day, but St. Anthony's undefeated, and today they knocked off St. John Bosco.
Yes, they
did. They're going to meet again next week, and we have that game for you.
And it should be a barn burner because these two schools aren't very far apart, and they don't play each other. There's talk
Wait a
that
minute, they played today.
I know, there's talk they don't like each other a whole lot, but they found themselves in the same tournament. St. Anthony prevails over Bosco. We've got them next week back at Bosco. Should be really exciting stuff. My guess is Bosco wants to even the score.
Be a packed gymnasium. Should be a very entertaining affair, and we're thrilled to have it for you on KDOC. Here's Strother with 18 points. Still have most of this second half to play, and again, he averages 41 plus a night. Abelar will set it up. Jefferson's pass is deflected out of bounds by the hustling Evan Mobley.
Yeah, he doesn't take possessions off defensively either. Covers a ton of ground and was able to knock away what would have been a sure layup for Davis that time.
Strother around the pick, had it deflected away. Turner stole it. Harris gives it back to Luke Turner, who puts it in. Well, Luke deserved that after
Yes,
making the play defensively.
Yes. And an unselfish play by Harris, who could have taken the shot. Oh, nice finish that time by Jefferson.
Went right into the body of Mobley. Turner for three. That won't get there. And again, Liberty looks to go up tempo. Strother in traffic, blocked by Mobley, got it back, blocked again. What a great rejection by number 4. The spin move and the feed to Turner. What a gorgeous delivery. The dime there from Jaden Byers.
Yeah, Byers with a 360 spin, yet kept his head in the play. Nice dish to Turner. Luke's come out with a renewed focus. You can see it in his body language, and he's got 5 quick points here in the third.
And 9 overall. Lead is 15. From the side, the shot is up and good by Matavao. He's one of those football players that was on the Nevada State Championship team, the first ever for Liberty. Matavao, one of the top recruited tight ends in the country.
Indeed. When you've got Alabama, Auburn, Georgia, Wisconsin, Washington, those kind of schools looking at you.
Well, normally Julian Strother would put that one away. Came up empty. Run and gun, and an easy one inside, and it doesn't drop for Byers. And we're going back the other way. And Matavao with the up fake, and he has 2.
Nicely done by Mo. That state championship team en route to winning the state championship beat Bishop Gorman. That's the first time Bishop Gorman has lost to a Nevada team in football since 2008.
By the way, this game is an 11-point affair. Rancho Christian turns it over. Mobley lost it. Strother the other way, and he lays it in.
So
and
smooth.
Suddenly it's inside of double digits.
And this is the way Liberty likes to play. They like a little helter-skelter basketball going on. Coach Berg is up applauding. They've come out with a focus here in this third quarter.
Stevens is open. The 3 ball for Bryson Stevens.
Boy, that's a backbreaker. Nicely orchestrated by Mobley, who backed his defender down. And little drive and kick action by the 7-footer.
And a steal. Terrific anticipation. And the slam dunk for Dominic Harris. And suddenly, just like that, it's 14 again.
Rancho Christian, if they focus on the defensive end, their transition game is as good as anybody.
This is a very dangerous Rancho Christian team that can play with anyone in the southern section and in the state. There's a beautiful shot from the baseline for Strother, who continues to score. Julian has 22 points on the night. 3:39 remains. It's the Eagles by a dozen on KDOC.
Toyotathon is on, and you know what that means. Incredible year-end savings on a huge selection of our most popular models, like the adventurous RAV4, stylish Highlander, sporty Camry, and more. Now, during Toyotathon, get a low $269 a month lease on a sporty new 2020 Camry LE, or choose 1.9 APR for 60 months and save big. The deals end January 6th. Get yours before they're gone. Toyota, let's go play.
From the Golden Coast and rolling hills to iconic cityscapes, this is a getaway that begins the moment you step on board. Experience an unforgettable train ride. Learn more at PacificSurfliner.com.
All month long, we're giving away 4 packs of tickets to the San Diego Zoo and Safari Park. The San Diego Zoo has such a wide range of scaly, furry, and feathered friends for the whole family to enjoy. For your chance to win tickets, visit our contest page on KDOC.tv.
Tonight's Pacific Surfliner Game of the Week on KDOC TV is driven by your helpful SoCal Honda dealers. Eagles with it. They possess a 12-point advantage. With the Professor Paul Westphal, I'm Randy Rosenbaum, Pasadena City College. And the Eagles performing well. Catching comes up empty, and let's see if Liberty can carve that deficit down. Davis for 3. Yes.
Nicely done. First, the cross-court pass from Abelard to Strother, and Julian looking ahead finds Davis with his feet set.
And Dominic Harris trying to pass it in the corner to Catching. Catchings was breaking inside, and the ball went outside.
And that's some of the things that I think will improve as Jace Catchings gets more familiar with his teammates. On 2 successive possessions, he looked like he was surprised that the pass came to him.
Liberty hanging around, down by 9. Davis, who just hit a 3, draws the foul.
They'll get Catchings for the bump. That's the first foul here in the second half, Randy, and we've played about 5 minutes. I like that.
I love it when they let him play. Near steal by Harris, but he has a knockdown of Strother, so there is a foul.
Well, and those two guys are going to be playing next to each other next year, and you know they know each other really well. They're talking between each other.
That's no way to treat a future teammate, knocking him down like that.
No, Mark Few, if he's watching, probably is like, oh, my goodness, Dominic.
Inside of 3 minutes to play in the third, and Strother and company coming back here at Pasadena City College.
Basket here, in particular a 3-ball, makes things a little bit interesting going into the last 2 minutes of the third.
20 on the shot clock. Davis to Jefferson to Matavao. And he likes the baseline. And for a football player, he's a pretty impressive and skilled basketball performer.
Yes, I asked Coach Berg about that because upper echelon football players like that, generally they tell you choose a sport, but Coach Berg said he likes to play basketball, and he's got those soft hands. He's a terrific athlete.
Catchings is free. Byers gets it to Mobley, and another jam. Oh, Byers made the play and found the big fella.
He's got an enormous vertical leap, and you saw it there as he soared above everybody else who was kind of glued to the floor.
Strother all the way, and Mobley just swatted it out of bounds.
And Strother, he showed him the ball and took it away from him, but the long reach of Mobley, once again, that 7'4" wingspan, easy block for the big guy.
Julian won't be deterred, though. He'll continue to battle. Jefferson in the paint, scores from 7 feet away.
Nice, nice. Under control all the way. It's a 7-point game, and Joshua Jefferson coming alive. They need somebody to complement Strother's scoring, and he's getting some help now here in the second half.
Turner thought about the 3. They swarm around Mobley, and there's a ticket foul against the Patriots of Liberty. Second foul on Joshua Jefferson. His 2 older brothers play football.
Right.
Cameron played in the NFL, played with the Denver Broncos when they won a Super Bowl, offensive lineman.
Well, he's going to be really good. You can see it. Just a sophomore.
Catchings with the left hand, the layup over the iron.
Oh, Avalar stole it.
There's a lot of that cat quick guard. Gives it to Davis. Dante with the left hand. Couldn't finish with the big fellow there, Mobley, who grabbed the rebound.
Oh, and Matavao hurt it looks like he hurt his right arm. Oh, he's bleeding from the nose. That's what
they're going to have
happened.
to stop the game as soon as they find out he's got blood. Then they do stop the game.
Yeah, he got the referee's attention there. I thought maybe he had hurt his hand, but he was putting his hand up by his nose, and you can see he's running off the court now. He'll be back. He's a football player.
Yeah, I was just going to say that. This is right in his wheelhouse. They'll clean him up and saying, guys, let's go back. He wants to hit somebody now.
Yes.
You know, with like a block or a tackle.
Exactly.
But he is a terrific tight end, and all the Southeastern Conference schools, the Pac-12 schools, they all want his services.
Oh my gosh, SEC. I mean, everybody. I saw some tape on him. He ran away from people at his size. Took a 10-yard pass and made it a 70-yard pass. Incredible skill set for Mo Matavao on the gridiron.
Got some rankings for the professor to mull over. This is our Max Preps CIF Southern Section Top 10.
That's a bit of a stunner to me. Chino Hills, I'm not exactly sure. We might have.
You don't have to agree with the poll.
No, that might be. I'm sorry, that might be last year. I mean, Santa Margarita, Chino Hills. No offense, but they're rebuilding this year. They lost too many players. So, but of course, Sierra Canyon, Mater Dei, Etiwanda, Rancho Christian, Centennial. We saw them win here at these Vegas, California Classic, Nevada, California Classic. Damien, there's a couple teams. There's a couple of teams there that aren't really.
You don't really believe this top 10, do you?
No, I'm sorry. Chino Hills, Santa Margarita, Orange Lutheran, rebuilding years for all three.
52-45. They've mopped up the floor. And Stefan Berg is running out of athletes. He's got guys taking exams,
yes.
Players that are ill.
Yeah, they didn't even come along on the trip because some of them under the weather.
You know, Stefan is young enough. Maybe he can get out there. He's 31 years of age. He looks 23. And maybe he could get out there, sneak into a uniform, and help out his team. Final half minute. Harris will back it out. 5 on the shot clock. Mobley. Harris for 3. Oh, that is a tremendous shot by Dominic Harris, the Gonzaga commit.
And it shows you how unselfish Mobley is. He could have created something for himself there, but he chose to create something for Harris instead.
Final 10 seconds of the quarter. Strother from deep, can't finish it, and Mobley swats the next one out of there, and it's going to be a leak out and a basket, and an easy one for Bryson Stevens. And just like that, it went from 7 to 12. Dominic Harris with that huge 3, and then the Stevens layup. And after 3, it's Rancho Christian powering its way to a 12-point lead on KDOC.
Louis, you've been craving Wingstop's flavor for way too long now. It's so good to be back. Back where lemon and pepper get a buttery bath and never felt zustier. Where freshly made just for you chicken learns to fly. Where 11 flavors each go to 11. It's like the first time, every time. Wingstop, where flavor gets its wings. Now get your flavor delivered to your door at wingstop.com.
The holidays are just around the corner. And that means Hyundai holidays are here. With savings so big, finding the right gift is easy. How to wrap it? That's another story. Hyundai holidays. The longer you look, the more there is to like.
Lease a 2020 Santa Fe for $189 a month, or get 0% APR for 72 months, plus $500 event cash. Only at your SoCal.
Seinfeld, weeknights at 11 and 11:30 on KDOC TV, Los Angeles.
The Pacific Surfliner CIF Game of the Week on KDOC TV is brought to you by Amtrak Pacific Surfliner. We head into the final quarter, the fourth quarter. Little run there by Rancho Christian to complete that third stanza.
An unfortunate 30 seconds for Liberty. They had cut it to 7 with 30 seconds to go and gave up a 3 and a 2. And it's back to a dozen, but a quick score, and it's a 10-point game.
Julian Strother finishing with the left hand. He is fun to watch. He's got 24 on the night. Harris in and out. But there's Mobley on the weak side to clean up.
And that was effortless from about 25 feet for Downey.
See the Liberty picking up their intensity at the defensive end. But can they get the ball off the glass?
Right. One stop at a time, but then you got to make sure that they're one and done. Nice play.
And a nice finish for Dominic Harris, who's having a very nice night in Pasadena.
They ran a really good play, a quick pass to Turner at the elbow, and a nice off-the-ball cut by Harris for an easy one.
Dominic Harris was 17 on the evening. Lead still 12, and there is time for Liberty to battle back. Jefferson with a nice move, a little bit too strong with the shot. And Rancho Christian going back the other way.
Matavao has returned from the locker room, so I expect we'll see him back in the game. They got the bloody nose taken care of. as soon as he went out, things went a little bit south.
Yeah, and he's already reported to the scorer's table. Here's Harris. His pass in the corner to Turner. Back to the iron, no good. Look at Strother go up.
Oh my, the vertical of Strother that time, his feet were by Harris's collarbone.
Here's Matavao coming back in. A little bloody nose isn't going to bother him.
No. In fact, if there wasn't a rule, he probably wouldn't have left the game.
I would agree with that. He wants to stay out there. He loves contact. Strother. All the way. Oh, beautiful bank shot over Mobley.
Oh, with
a kiss off the window.
Some serious English on that one.
59-49. Mark Few's got to love what he has in Julian Strother. 26 points tonight. Remember, his low output this year is 28. 28, 38, 48, and 51 coming in.
Exactly. When your low output's 28.
You're pretty good. Byers with an air ball, and here comes Avalar the other way.
Chance to make it single digits again.
Davis for three. Matavao gives his team a second opportunity. Dante from the other side. And Mobley was knocked down. Foul against Liberty.
Contact that time with Grayson Montgomery going for the rebound. Kind of a mismatch there between Montgomery and Mobley. Yeah, Montgomery with the foul.
Mobley's limping off.
Oh my, that's
he hurt that ankle coming down.
Oh goodness gracious. Oh my goodness. Yeah, that's probably the last we'll see of Evan tonight. Way too much at stake for Rancho Christian down the road. Hopefully absolutely nothing serious there with the game's and country's best player.
Yeah, he's shaking his head on the sideline saying, I'm okay. I'm sure he's going to want to come back, but for precautionary reasons, they may keep him off the floor.
Yep, I agree 100%.
Catchings hits. A three ball for Trace Catchings. Again, he averaged over 20 points in high school in Missouri before he transferred to Rancho Christian.
Yeah, I think he could be really helpful against the real quality teams they're going to run into in the open division.
Well, if Mobley off the floor, Julian Strother seems like he can score anytime he wants. Davis fouls Byers.
I like Dante Davis. He's a tough kid. Liberty's got a lot of tough kids.
Yeah, I do like their makeup. I think they're going to do some damage in Nevada. It'll be a threat against anyone they play. They look very, very polished. Timeout on the floor with 4:42 to play, and Rancho Christian clinging to an 11-point lead.
Of course, Bishop Gorman is the platinum standard for Nevada basketball, but Liberty has won a playoff game in each of the last 3 years. When Coach Berg took the team over, they had issues with things like uniforms and equipment.
Well, his first record in his initial season was 3-23, and he's done a wonderful job of turning it around. You look at his overall record, you say, wait a minute, why does this guy have a job? But then you see the buildup and the year-by-year improvement in what he's done for Liberty. Then you understand that, hey, they're headed in the right direction.
They are indeed. He's 35-24 over the last 2+ years after that slow start. But once again, they've won a playoff game in each of the last 3 years. It's tough to get past teams like Durango and Clark and Canyon Springs in that Las Vegas area. But Liberty, I think they're going to be a tough out come playoff time.
Well, when you have a player like Strother who can score so much, and he's got some nice complementary parts and players around him, you have a chance against anyone. He can keep you in the game. He's got 28 tonight. We still have, as you can see, 4:42 to play, and for him, he could put up another 10, 12 points. He could get to 40 before it's all said and done.
And they're missing 3 of their top 8 guys tonight. I mean, Kobe Strother is a terrific point guard, and you've got Demetrius Williams and Lehigh Asange off the football team. These guys are going to be contributors, and so when he gets a little bit deeper and they can legislate the minutes a little bit better.
Byers all the way, failed on that one, and here comes Strother back the other way for the Patriots.
Once again, a basket cuts it inside that magic 10-point mark. Then you start feeling you got a chance to win when you look up and it's single digits.
Tried to go backdoor with Strother, and it's deflected away, and here comes Dominic Harris. Racing all the way end to end, and another beautiful 2 for number 2, Harris.
Kind of a Division I play there where you used the Euro step and played through contact, but a really good defensive play on the denial by Catchings on the other end.
Strother from downtown. Oh, that's the stroke that we were looking for all night from outside the arc. It's a 10-point game.
That had to be 25, 26 feet.
Strother up to 31, but Harris is getting inside the defense, and he's up to 21 for Dominic Harris.
Gonzaga having a good old time watching this one. Nice pass from Jaden Simpson on the cut to the basket by Harris.
Strother called for a walk. There was a lot of contact there, but no foul. Strother is a tremendous finisher at the iron, but it's Rancho Christian by 12.
Well, if it isn't Big Carl, you fixin' to sauce me up? Sick those beefy twins on this cheese hound. Scram, Big Mac. Go play with your extra toy bun. The adults are getting meaty.
Carl's Jr., you know what you want.
Don't tear up a piazza with an Italian work of art. Do seek out an open road. Don't squander 100 years of racing heritage. Do take the long way home. And definitely, don't do this. See everything you should never do with an Alfa Romeo. Then experience everything you should on the road now.
Well-qualified lessees get a low-mileage lease on the 2019 Giulia for $299 a month. Visit your local Alfa Romeo.
They call you really Big Carl? Must be those triple-sauced meat heaps. How about you cloak me in cheese? Drape me in a 3-piece patty suit like a beef tycoon.
Carl's Jr., you know what.
There's Julian Strother. He's poured in 31 tonight for Liberty, but his team is down by 12. Still 3.5 minutes to play in the game. With the Professor Paul Westfall, I'm Randy Rosenblum. What a weekend of basketball we've had for you here on KDOC. Last night we saw Fairfax beat Westchester in that wonderful LA City section rivalry by 11. And tonight Rancho Christian, battle of a Southern California powerhouse against a Nevada strong team. And it's another interesting game indeed. And inside, Rancho Christian with a couple good looks. They just could not finish as Jaden Simpson missed the puppy.
With Mobley out, things get a little bit different inside as far as trying to penetrate and score.
Davis, the high arcing shot. Saved by Montgomery. Strother, triple teamed. It doesn't matter. He puts it up and draws the foul. Julian Strother.
He has a terrific handle, and I don't know how he kept that thing alive when there were 3 guys kind of swiping at it, but he got himself a 2-shot opportunity. Very strong, absorbs contact. He'll play right through it and get that shot off, and then he's pretty much money at the free throw line.
And a developing story here with Evan Mobley. Right ankle injury. They're icing it on the bench.
Yeah, they've elevated it now, so that's the last we'll see of Evan Mobley tonight. We certainly hope that it's just a minor sprain and something that'll be just fine in a couple of days, and he'll be back to action.
Layup underneath. Stevens getting to the cup. 68-56. Strother from way downtown wasn't close with that one, but Liberty's going to get another opportunity. They have to hurry here, down by 12.
Good hustle by Avalar that time.
Strother inside has 35 points.
I don't think Rancho Christian will have any trouble on the offensive end because they've got a lot of talented players even without Mobley, but it'll be the defensive end that'll be a challenge for them without their shot blocker and intimidator.
Strother with a steal, took it from Turner, puts it up and in. And suddenly the lead is 8 with 2 minutes to play. We have a timeout. Julian Strother closing in on his average. He's got 37 on the night.
And he's not a volume shooter. That's what's amazing to me. You think a guy with that kind of average shoots it every time he gets it.
Mobley showing his ability, but Strother ran into Mobley again. Evan Mobley, before he got hurt, did some wonderful things.
Yes, on both ends of the court, both scoring the ball, blocking shots, rebounding, passing, the complete package. The guy is as good as advertised, and there you see what happens if he gets a free lane to the basket. Evan Mobley has had a marvelous night as expected, but there's a good look at that ankle that he might have sprained. What was it, late in the third? Early in the fourth?
Early in the fourth. I would call it a mild sprain. He doesn't look too concerned, but I'll tell you, I'm sure his family and certainly Andy Enfield, who's here, taking this one in, a little bit concerned, but I think he's going to be okay.
Well,
the question is, when
is
he going to come back? That's the question.
Yeah, that's what we're all basketball fans are going to think good thoughts about Evan Mobley, of course, because Rancho Christian headed for the Platinum Division at the Classic at Damien, as is Liberty. So these two teams could conceivably run into each other again. But we're going to hope that it's just a minor setback for the country's best player.
Well, the game is 8 points. It's doable for Liberty if they can take the ball away a couple times, force some turnovers, and they are pressuring all over the floor. You can see we're inside of 2 minutes remaining.
Yeah, just rebound if there's a miss this time, contest the shot and rebound the basketball. They could get this down to a 2-possession game with a minute and a half to play. That's winnable.
And you don't sense that Rancho Christian can deny Strother. On the baseline, fouls going against the Patriots.
Worst thing about that is it'll give them a fresh 35 on the shot clock, so time is an enemy of Liberty as well. And gosh, that sounds like a philosophical axiom. Time is the enemy of Liberty.
Time is the enemy of all of us, to be quite candid. That's why you're the professor.
Touche on that one. Oh, goodness.
That's a fun night in Pasadena. And Rancho not in too much of a hurry, although Byers got a good look, so he says, I'll take that one.
I think Montgomery forgot he was left-handed. He gave him the left side, and that was a crusher as Byers, good finisher because of that vertical leap.
It appears that Rancho Christian's going to hold off this Liberty team, but maybe not with shots like that from Strother, who's going to the line searching for his 40th point of the night. Now, it didn't seem like he was going to get to 40 a few minutes ago, but suddenly he has erupted with unbelievable accuracy around the rim.
And he has such a tremendous feel for the game. I mean, as soon as he knew he had a smaller player on him, he took him into the post, absorbed the contact. He really can spin the ball up on the glass and get the finish and a chance for a three-point play. I just think he's going to be a tremendous next-level player. He may not be at Gonzaga very long.
He is fun to watch because he's so skilled, and he's got that scorer's mentality.
Yeah, he's he lets the game come to him, and he and Harris are talking now, and I'm sure they'll be texting each other and talking about the night. But Gonzaga, Mark Few, both these guys are his kind of players. So.
Yeah, the two leading scorers in the game are his.
Yeah, and you kind of thought that might be that way. There's Ray Bearfield, and of course Ray's son Cedric, an outstanding player at Corona Centennial, and then Utah. Cedric starts for the Oklahoma City Blue. That's their G League team, and he's having a nice year. He's averaging double figures for Oklahoma City Blue. I think Cedric's going to play in the NBA someday.
Well, how would you like to tell Pippi you're under your average and you have 40? Here's Dominic Harris. Catchings came down hard. I hope he's okay.
Yeah, that's a travel, but it was an unfortunate travel.
Well, it's a 7-point game. A minute and change remaining, and the way Strother is scoring, you never know, do you?
No, I wouldn't. I'd be doubling him as soon as he crossed the midcourt line.
All the way, and it's tipped up and in by Strother.
Well, they let him get to the rim, and that was, they should have, I would make somebody else shoot the ball now.
It's a 5-point game.
Got a
42 for Julian. Strother with a takeaway. Working against his buddy Dominic Harrison, draws the foul, and now the bench of Liberty is up, and they're excited.
All three of them.
Good point.
But, yes, a lot of contact on that steal, but the refs letting them play, and it was Strother and Harris going at each other again, but a non-shooting foul, so Liberty is going to have to earn it from the floor, but Ray Bearfield wants timeout. He wants to, suddenly he's got to talk some strategy here.
Well, Julian Strother has 42 points, and he has been spectacular to watch, and he's just now at his average. This is a typical Julian Strother game.
And he has scored from every possible angle, everywhere on the floor. You see the soft touch with the little baby hook off the glass and in. He's had a number of three-point plays tonight where he's played through contact. And very creative inside, that time scoring under Mobley. Good finish there on the drive and foul. And he has done everything possible to get his Liberty team a chance to win this game.
He is a warrior, and that reminds us we're going to have American Ninja Warrior coming up on KDOC as soon as this game is completed.
He's all that. He's everything that they say he is. I watched him play as a sophomore, and that night they beat San Joaquin Memorial, and Jalen Green, who is acknowledged as maybe the best non-center in the class of 2020, but that night Strother got the better of Jalen Green, and I thought, my goodness, this kid's only a sophomore. How good is he going to get? Well, we don't know how good he's going to get, but he's going to get really good, really fast playing for Mark Few at Gonzaga.
Strother thinking about the three. Trying to cut it to two, couldn't get it.
That was huge. If he makes that, it's a one-possession game. Got a foul. Got a foul.
Oh, they got an open man. It's Catchings, and he puts it in. That's a backbreaker, 72-65.
Yeah, that sequence kind of sealed the deal. If Strother makes that, it's 70-68, and then you can play the foul game.
Julian going to work, drawing the foul. He'll go to the line.
You can see he feels badly about that missed three. He looked up at the scoreboard and realized they probably can't catch up, but a magnificent effort. And if that one had gone in, we'd have had some drama here, Mr. Rosenblum.
Well, thank you, sir. And it's fun to watch a player like this do his thing. And in the fourth quarter, he has been sensational. Another timeout on the floor. 20 seconds remaining. Julian knows his team is probably not going to win it, but he showcased his skills to the folks in Southern California.
Yes, he did, and we've talked about it numerous times, how he's going to go play at Gonzaga, but I think that's the perfect place for him, because if there's one thing that Mark Few does almost to every player that comes there, they get incrementally better before they leave Gonzaga. And if that's the case with Strother, as long as he stays, whether it's 1 or 2 years, he's an NBA first-rounder.
Well, getting a little bit better, but I'm looking up the scoreboard, and the two Gonzaga players combined have 64 points. How much better do you want them to get, Professor?
Well, they will. It'll be tougher at the next level.
Yeah, I think it might be.
And they'll learn how to play the team concept, defensive philosophies, that sort of thing. But one thing you've got to keep doing if you're going to play for Mark Few, you got to keep trying to get better.
You know, we had a lot of friends watching tonight, probably from Loyola and Pepperdine in that conference, the West Coast Conference. And they know they got to play these guys at Gonzaga.
And the beat goes on for that program. They've been so good for such a long time. But a nice win for Rancho Christian as well, coming off the 2 losses in consecutive games to Santa Clarita Christian and Corona Centennial. I think there was a new focus for Ray Bearfield's Eagles. And tonight I thought they played with a nice intensity from start to finish.
44 for Strother. Lead is 5, and they'll commit the foul. Avalar came over and grabbed Harris.
It's only the 6th team foul, so they would have been better suited to try to steal the ball than to make the intentional foul, I think. I mean, you might as well try to steal it.
Well, they'll try to get that steal Again, we're going to have another whistle and another foul.
That's just the 6th-team foul, so we're going to have to do it one more time.
Now, the next one will get him into the bonus.
And the last 18 seconds could take 14 minutes.
Well, they got to 7 in a hurry, and the 1-1 for Rancho Christian. And that's what you have to do. You got to slow the game down and give yourself opportunities and try to force Rancho Christian to hit foul shots, and maybe you can knock down a 3. They're still not out of it. We'll see what Luke Turner can do at the line.
Not if Turner only hits 1 of 2. You still got a 2-possession game, but Luke's pretty good at the line.
Sinks the first one and earns the bonus. Like his game, he's a young player, rapidly improving performer that's going to be good for the next couple of years for Rancho Christian.
Yeah, a high Division I recruit to be sure. Going to get stronger, going to work on the defensive principles. But Luke's, his outside game is well suited for the next level.
Give Liberty a lot of credit. They battled here in the fourth quarter, and obviously Mobley was off the floor with the ankle issue, and that made life a little bit easier. But the visitors from Henderson, Nevada, really came on strong. That one was deep for Strother, and Turner's down on the floor and tied up. Down to 3 seconds left. It's going to go to Rancho Christian. Of course, immediately following our contest, we're going to go to our America Ninja Warriors. That'll be in progress.
I can't wait for next Friday. St. Anthony and St. John Bosco, little revenge game for a St. John Bosco team that I really liked the one time I saw them against Cerritos. But St. Anthony is for real.
It'll be a hostile environment at St. John Bosco. They're rabid fans in Bellflower.
They are. And the two schools aren't far apart, so I'm sure St. Anthony will bring people too.
Don't know about committing a foul with a couple seconds left in a 7-point game, but this may just change the arithmetic a little bit. Paul, it's been a pleasure to work with you again tonight.
Thank you, sir. It's been great fun. We got a chance to see two of the nation's best in a very, very entertaining contest. Just the beginning of what is a superb schedule for this year's Pacific Surfliner Game of the Week on KDOC. We're going to see some of the best teams that California has to offer all year long.
Jaden Byers. And that will finish it off. Let's see if Strother can throw it in from 70. He came close. That'll wrap it up. There's your final score, 74-67. A final thought, Professor.
Well, Rancho Christian showed me a defensive intensity that they're going to need when they get to the better teams in the Southern California Open Division. And Liberty showed me a lot of heart tonight.
Rancho Christian, 74-67, despite 44 from Strother. Rancho Christian going to be a powerhouse. We wish Evan Mobley well. Again, he hurt his ankle late. We think he'll be okay down the road. He was great early on when he performed. For Paul Westfall and our entire David Otta crew, my name is Randy Rosenwald. Until next Friday from St. John Bosco, from Pasadena, Santa, Rancho Christian wins by 74-67. Good night on KDOC.
Cruise along tracks that connect you to Southern California's top destinations and experience an unforgettable ride. When was the last time you were moved by a train? Plan your next trip at PacificSurfliner.com.
You only get so many firsts in life, Lisa, and this bite of Wingstop is one of them. This is where lemon and pepper get a buttery bath and never felt zestier. Where freshly made just for you chicken learns to fly. Where 11 flavors each go to 11. Should we give you a moment? Wingstop, where flavor gets its wings. Now get your flavor delivered to your door at wingstop.com.
I'm Ladia, and there's more to me than HIV. There's my career, my cause, and creating my dream home. I'm a work in progress. So much goes into who I am. HIV medicine is one part of it.
Prescription Dovato is for adults who are starting HIV-1 treatment and who aren't resistant to either of the medicines dolutegravir or lamivudine. Dovato has 2 medicines in 1 pill to help you reach and then stay undetectable, so your HIV can be controlled with fewer medicines while taking Dovato. You can take Dovato any time of day, with food or without. Don't take Dovato if you're allergic to any of its ingredients or if you take dofetilide. If you have hepatitis B, it can change during treatment with Dovato and become harder to treat. Your hepatitis B may get worse or become life-threatening if you stop taking Dovato, so do not stop Dovato without talking to your doctor. Serious side effects can occur, including allergic reactions, liver problems, and liver failure. Life-threatening side effects include lactic acid buildup and severe liver problems. If you have a rash and other symptoms of an allergic reaction, stop taking Dovato and get medical help right away. Tell your doctor if you have kidney or liver problems, including hepatitis B or C. Don't use Dovato if you plan to become pregnant or during the first 12 weeks of pregnancy, since one of its ingredients may harm your unborn baby. Your doctor should do a pregnancy test before starting Dovato. Use effective birth control while taking Dovato. The most common side effects are headache, diarrhea, nausea, trouble sleeping, and tiredness.
So much goes into who I am and hope to be.
Ask your doctor if starting HIV treatment with Dovato is